Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's deep dive into one of society's most enduring institutions, marriage. Once the cornerstone of family, community, and national identity throughout Western and European history, marriage has long been synonymous with tradition, stability, and a promise of forever. In a world marked by rapid social change, individualism, and evolving values, we are compelled to ask, is marriage still relevant in our modern world? In this exploration, we will examine the evolution of marriage, from its historical roots steeped in religious, social, and economic imperatives, to its current status as a dynamic and often reinterpreted personal commitment. We will uncover how modern relationships challenge and redefine the meaning of marriage, while also acknowledging the enduring emotional and cultural significance that this union continues to hold. Historical context and traditional roles. For centuries, marriage in Western and European society was not merely about love, it was an economic and social contract. In medieval Europe, for example, marriages were arranged to secure alliances, consolidate wealth, and preserve familial honor. The ceremonial aspects, from the exchange of rings in a Gothic cathedral to the elaborate celebrations held in aristocratic estates during the Renaissance, were designed to elevate the couple's social standing and ensure the continuity of lineage. These ceremonies, rich in symbolism, from the white wedding dress signifying purity to the traditional exchange of vows, became ritualized traditions passed down through generations. Even in today's society, many of these symbols continue to evoke nostalgia and reverence among us, reminding us of a time when marriage was more than a personal choice. It was a community event, a public declaration of a lifelong commitment. Modern shifts and the rise of individualism. Fast forward to the present, and we see that the landscape of relationships has transformed dramatically. Western culture has embraced the values of individual freedom, self-discovery, and personal autonomy. Today, love and marriage are increasingly viewed through the lens of personal fulfillment rather than social obligation. Modern couples now have the freedom to choose partners based on emotional compatibility, shared values, and mutual respect rather than strict adherence to familial duty or economic gain. In many European societies, for instance, the concept of a civil partnership or legal cohabitation offers a framework where individuals can define their relationships outside of the traditional confines of marriage. This shift has led to a debate. Has modern individualism undermined the institution of marriage, or has it allowed marriage to evolve into something that better meets today's needs? As more people opt to remain single or choose non-traditional relationships, critics argue that marriage is losing its central role. However, supporters claim that the institution is simply adapting to reflect the changing priorities of modern life. Marriage as an evolving institution. Modern marriage is no longer a rigid institution. It is a fluid, evolving concept. Western societies are now rethinking what it means to be married. For many, the focus has shifted from the legal or economic benefits to the emotional and personal growth aspects of a committed relationship. In this view, marriage becomes an arena where both partners continuously evolve, learning from each other while maintaining a strong sense of individuality. Think about it this way. Marriage is much like a piece of living art, constantly changing, flexible, and uniquely tailored to the couple who creates it. Modern ceremonies often incorporate elements that reflect the couple's personal story and cultural heritage, whether it's a blend of traditional church rites with a contemporary celebration in a trendy urban setting, or even a destination wedding that celebrates multicultural influences. In Europe, where diverse cultural identities intersect, couples have embraced non-traditional wedding formats. Many opt for outdoor ceremonies in rustic vineyards or historic castles, blending timeless elegance with a relaxed, modern vibe. These creative approaches highlight that marriage is not failing, but rather reinventing itself to stay relevant in a rapidly changing society. The debate, relevance versus redundancy. The central question remains, is marriage still relevant in our modern world? Some skeptics argue that with the advent of cohabitation, digital dating, and societal acceptance of singlehood, marriage has become optional, a relic of the past. They point to rising divorce rates and statistics showing that many people are delaying marriage in favor of pursuing education and career goals. However, this perspective overlooks an essential component of marriage: its potential for providing a stable, secure foundation for personal growth, emotional support, and family development. In many Western cultures, marriage is still celebrated as a milestone, an important rite of passage that symbolizes unity, resilience, and the merging of two life paths. Furthermore, marriage continues to offer legal protections and benefits, ranging from tax advantages to inheritance rights, that remain critical in societies where economic stability and social security are paramount. Even as definitions and expectations shift, the legal framework provided by marriage can serve as a safety net for couples in times of uncertainty. Cultural nuances in the West and Europe. When we speak of Western and European traditions, we must appreciate the rich tapestry of cultural nuances that have shaped marriage over the centuries. Consider, for example, the distinct wedding customs in different parts of Europe. In Southern Europe, weddings are often grand, with extended celebrations that can last for days, centered around lavish feasts, live music, and deep-rooted familial traditions. In contrast, Scandinavian weddings might emphasize simplicity, minimalism, and intimate gatherings, reflecting the cultural values of modesty and personal authenticity. These variations illustrate that even within the Western context, marriage is not a one-size-fits-all institution. It adapts to the social, economic, and cultural landscapes of each society. Today's marriage can be influenced by a blend of old-world charm and modern sensibilities, a marriage of tradition and innovation that provides a framework for forging a shared future while honoring individual dreams. The personal and emotional dimensions. At its heart, marriage remains a deeply personal journey. In today's world, couples are increasingly looking for partnerships that promote mutual respect, emotional intimacy, and shared adventures. Many modern couples prioritize quality time over grand gestures, focusing on meaningful communication rather than simply following a prescribed ceremony. Emotional compatibility and mutual growth are now seen as the cornerstones of a successful relationship. This renewed focus on the personal dimensions of marriage reflects a broader cultural trend in the West, a shift from external validation to internal satisfaction. Whether in a quiet suburban home or a bustling urban environment, modern couples seek relationships that serve as emotional sanctuaries amid a hectic world. For many Europeans and Westerners, marriage has evolved into a partnership where both individuals actively contribute to building a supportive, nurturing environment. It is about creating a safe space for vulnerability and growth, a deliberate and ongoing commitment to weather life's ups and downs together. Looking to the future. So, what does the future hold for marriage in the modern world? The answer is not a simple yes or no. It is a journey of evolution and reinvention. As new generations challenge old stereotypes and old traditions give way to fresh ideas, the institution of marriage will likely continue to adapt to meet the needs of society. We might see further diversification in how marriage is defined and celebrated. The rise of digital interactions, the globalization of culture, and the increasing emphasis on equality and personal freedom will shape marriage in ways we can only begin to imagine. Yet, one thing remains constant: the human desire to connect deeply, to belong, and to forge a partnership that stands the test of time. In this light, marriage is neither obsolete nor static. It is a living, breathing entity that mirrors